I'd like to welcome you to the Matazone presentation of today's broadcast. Actually, two broadcasts, two games here, one canceled from last night. It's between the JMU Dukes and the Georgia State Panthers.
And we are just a little late tonight. Taylor Mickelberry and Mike Bocock with you in Bridgewater tonight as the Turner Ashby Knights, the number 2 seed in the Valley District Tournament, take on the Lehman of R.E. Lee High School in Stanton, the number 7 seed here in the quarterfinal round. Well, we had a little rain start right at about 6:45 and continued on through our anticipated start time of 7:30. But they're getting the field in order now so we can play baseball here tonight, Mike. Welcome back to Harrisonburg High School. It is the host of the Region 3 finals here between Broadway High School and Fort Defiance High School. Two Valley District teams going at it here. Both are into the state tournament, so now they're just fighting for the seeding and the bragging rights. Of course, the winner here gets to stay at home.
You can maybe label it as a bit of a rivalry.
Yeah, you talk about rivalries, and to those looking on the outside in, how would you think it's a rivalry? These two programs have only met. This is the second time, and ODU has only had a football program since 2009, so folks might not necessarily think that way, but for the people in this community, it is, because they are natural rivals being in the state of Virginia, and also those other sports that the rivalries cross over, basketball being one of the big ones. And for today's game, it's a rivalry because it's such a big game from James Madison. It decides their playoff fate. So that right there just makes it an instant rival for everybody in this stadium. They don't want to see ODU win this game.
Here with Coach Brad Lutz of the Broadway Gobblers. Coach, a little rough season to start, but how'd you guys recover last week and coming into this game, the momentum also?
Hey there, welcome to Harrisonburg for tonight's game between the Harrisonburg Blue Streaks and the Broadway Gobblers, and welcome to Shenandoah Valley Sports Game of the Week with myself. I'm Taylor McBride and my partner Jack Hale for tonight's broadcast. And Jack, what are the implications of tonight's game with both these teams being 1-0 in the Massanutten District?
Well, you talk about that tough football team being Stewart's draft. They have such a stable of running backs. Who knows who we're going to see tonight?
Well, the other game happening here tonight was not delayed by rain, but it did go into extra innings. Just wrapping up was 4-3 Broadway taking it over Harrisonburg. And that game has completed up there in Broadway, so winner of that game moves on. Harrisonburg's season is over.
Well, congratulations to Charlie and the Gobblers there. They'll come up here to play in the semifinals on Tuesday night. Both those games taking place here at TA. Both of those games can be heard. I believe that first game going to be heard on WHBG next Tuesday at 4:30. Whoever the two are involved in that. Of course, Spotswood gets the bye in the first round, so their first tournament action will be here Tuesday night as well. Of course, for any updates, WSVAOnline.com has all of that information for you under the sports section. I'll have a list of games once we know all of the pairings. Stepping in for Turner Ashby, Evan Hannafy. Hannafy, one of the best hitters in the Valley District, easily over 500. 18 games, 36 hits, 63 at-bats. First pitch is a ball for Hannafy. Second pitch coming from Tyler Zombro. This one almost fouled into the mitt of Dalton Dabney. He dropped it, but it's a strike nonetheless. 1-1 the count. Well, he's had such a good year that, when anything less than a big hit would be, not good enough because he's just played so well this year.
Lefty on lefty matchup here. This one's sent along the first base line and fair. Hannafy looking for 2 out of it, but he'll have to back off to 1.
That ball was hit like a laser. I don't think the first baseman ever had a chance at all.
Sent that one along the first base line. You'll have to excuse me. Zombro is a right-handed pitcher. So the righty on lefty matchup sends Hannafy to first base. And now Brendan Hannafy, the shortstop, steps in.
And Brennan's had a great year as a freshman. I mean, he's
played very well in that position at shortstop since he started.
First pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner for Brennan Hannafy.
And I think Brennan's going to have a great career here. He's very fluid at shortstop. He's going to have a real nice baseball body, and I think he's going to have a super career here, Turner Ashby.
Zombro with the 0-1 pitch, and Brendan Hannafy showed bunt at the same time. Zombro looked over at Evan Hannafy standing at first base. No throw over, but Hannafy got back anyway. Here's a pitch from Zombro. Lays down the bunt. It's popped up. Zombro under it, and he caught it to retire Brennan Hannafy.
Zombro kind of made a move like he was going to drop the ball in turn 2. And of course, that would have been a little bit illegal.
So Hannafy has to stay at first base and see what Luke Shiflett can do as Shiflett steps in.
Well, Big Luke is, he's in the top 2 and 3 and
as of
had a great year too. So the TA just keeps sending the guys up.
Zombro going to throw over to first. Hannafy back in time.
4 of the top 5 hitters in the district are wearing black uniforms tonight.
Shiflett is the second best according to averages. He was hitting right at 500. Hannafy's taken off, but it's fouled back. And Hannafy will have to return. Shiflett will have 0-1.
I think that was a hit and run, and Luke did a good job of getting a little bit up. Did a good job of making contact.
1-0. Ari Lee scored in the top of the first. We're in the bottom of the first, and Turner Ashby has a man on first. It's Evan Hannafy after singling along the first base line. Barely fair. Throws over to Zombro to first base. Diving back, Hannafy safe. And Shiflett will still have an 0-1. One down here, bottom of the first, as Turner Ashby looks for their first runs of the game. Going is Hannafy again. This time no swing. Hannafy down, and shortstop who came over was Colton Grant, and he couldn't hang on to the ball. I think Hannafy probably got in there either way. It would have been a close call.
It was a good jump, and, Evan has double digits in steals also. So
team leader here for Turner Ashby in steals. Now he's in scoring position. The pitch was a ball, so it's a 1-1 count with 1 out. And Hannafy waiting at second base, his opportunity to come in. This one popped up and fouled. Back into the woods here behind the baseball field at Turner Ashby.
That was a pitch I don't think Luke wanted to swing at, and swung at it and a little bit inside, and got a little stingy that time with the hands.
So Luke Shiflett, first baseman, with a 1-2 count, 1 down. Waiting for the pitch from Tyler Zombro. Zombro's pitch, 1-2, swung on and missed. It's dropped. So to complete the play, Abney will have to throw down to Spencer Varner at first base. He does, and a K recorded for Shiflett, and it's the second out of the inning. Brings up the catcher, Ryan Hedrick. Hedrick not too bad himself hitting-wise, in the top 5 as well. He was around .458 here earlier in the week. Played in 17 games, 27 hits, 59 at-bats when the stats were reported.
Well, that's not shabby, .458.
Advancing on that play was Hannafy to third. Swinging is Hedrick.
It was a nice fastball that time. He got some giddy up on that one.
Zombro 0-1. Here comes his pitch to Hedrick. And this one fouled way back in off to the third base side.
I tell you, one thing I can tell right now from Zombro is, and when I've watched him, you can kind of tell when he's throwing his slider or curveball, because he really comes out a little different way. And that was a hard slider he was throwing that time.
Got Hedrick to foul it off, 0-2. Hannafy waiting to have his chance to come in. This one fouled, and it's going to be right into the stands here in Bridgewater.
And that was another hard fastball. I think he just tried to throw it up in the end a little bit to get him to move off the plate at 0-2. And, Ryan took a shot at it and fouled it off. But he had some good run on that fastball.
So he'll get to do it again. His 0-2 count remains. There's 2 outs. Hannafy waiting for his chance to come home at third. It's 1-0 Ari Lee. Here's a pitch. This one sent down the third base line, fair, and running over to get it is Gunnar Cook from left field, and it's going to be a stand-up double for Hedrick with the RBI.
Well, that was just like the one that Evan Hannafy hit, except for down the third base line. They're 2 rocket balls or lasers, and they just hit them. And, I think if you're Zombro, you're wishing you'd have that pitch back. I mean, you had him 0-2, and he kind of ran a little slider down low, and, Ryan Hedrick kind of came around it and pulled it to the left side. As a coach, that's one thing that I always try to tell my pitchers. If you're 0-2, you got plenty of pitches that you can throw before you get a strikeout. I mean, you can't be too clean when you're 0-2. I mean, you run a couple pitches out there, whatever, you don't want them to hit anything that's close to the zone.
That one got sent way down and into the corner almost, but fair along the third base line. Jordan Elyard comes in to courtesy run for Hedrick, the catcher, and that brings up Showalter, the pitcher, for Turner Ashby. We're tied at 1 in the bottom of the first. Still 2 outs in the first pitch of ball. Two hits now for Turner Ashby as well. Hannafy's and Hedrick's. Here's the 1-0 pitch. This one fouled into the Ari Lee dugout.
Yeah, it seems to me that he's really throwing a lot of sliders. When he had a fastball really working, I was kind of surprised he went away with the fastball.
One and one count on Showalter, the pitcher for Turner Ashby. Staring at his opponent, Zombro, his counterpart for Ari Lee. Tied at 1, bottom of the first. This one lifted to right field, and it drops down in front of the right fielder, Tyler Smallwood, coming home, and no chance for a play at the plate as Elyard scores for Turner Ashby. And quickly it's 2-1 in favor of the Knights. Showalter just the single into, I would say, medium right field.
Well, he had a shot. I mean, and again, it was a slider that he hit. He had, left-handed hitter. The slider came in on you, and he was able to pull it into right field.
It'll be a courtesy runner going in for Showalter. Kemper King will now run. He's at first base after the single. And it will bring up Trent Abernathy, the center fielder for Turner Ashby. 2-1 the score. Fouled right back towards us on the first pitch to Abernathy.
Good crowd here tonight for a lot of rain delay. We've got good people here, and got a good crowd in the left field.
Lots of folks came out. You started seeing them even when the rain was out here. They had their umbrellas and were hanging out. Throw over to first from Zombro. Sliding back and in time is King.
Well, they're going to be here. I mean, this is Turner Ashby baseball. That's what they do. That's what it's supposed to be at TA. They come out and watch baseball games.
0-1 pitch going is King. Throwing is Dalton Dabney to second baseman, who was covering, but a stolen base given to King as he will reach safely. The throw was very, very high. And Brian Strauderman, the second baseman, had to jump up and grab that one to prevent it from going any farther into the outfield than it already had.
Well, I think George Lass has done a very good job with these guys. And, it's really strange when you look out with this team.
This pitch lifted into left field, and under it to retire the side is Gunnar Cook. So, 2 runs will score on 3 hits, no errors, and there was 1 left aboard for Turner Ashby in the bottom of the first. They lead it 2-1 here on the Superior Concrete. Game of the week on WSVA and WSVAonline.com.